This is something that I've been thinking about since lunch today. It's been on the mind.
So quite a while.
It's been many hours at this point, mostly in the subconscious, not in the conch. But cauliflower. They had it for lunch, and I did get it because, I'm trying to eat a little bit better. All right. I'm trying to get a little bit more veggies on the plate, make it look more like my plate.
A more colorful plate.
Yes.
So cauliflower really helps with that.
This is exactly what I'm saying. Like cauliflower, it's a vegetable, so it's probably good for you. But I'm not convinced. It's not doing a great job of marketing itself because I look at it. I look at things that I almost know are healthy. I don't know for sure. I dropped that nutrition class, so I couldn't tell you. But we got broccoli, we got carrots. Those are my main two stays.
The big ones.
But like all these vegetables, they're colorful, they're bright, they got the vitamins in there, right? Cauliflower, you look at it and it's like, am I eating anything here? Is this doing anything? I feel like it's not.
Well, I feel like it is.
Okay.
And I maybe I have a little bit of bias here.
Okay.
But when I look at cauliflower, I think it's just broccoli that has been drained of color.
And that's where I also associate with that color and nutrients.
Okay.
That's where I go. Because in my mind, and this is super scientific, but color equals nutrients.
Sure.
You look at Skittles, you look at Starbursts, these sorts
Nutrients.
of very colorful things, very nutritious for you.
When I think of color, I think of danger.
Okay.
We're talking poisonous frogs. We're talking poisonous snakes, venomous snakes even.
Mm-hmm.
Nature's warning sign
is color.
So that's why I don't eat vegetables.
That's fair from you. But you do eat cauliflower.
Of course.
Okay. Not a dangerous thing about it.
No. In fact, it's quite good.
You think so?
I love it.
Do you
eat it up?
Okay, good. That's what we like to hear. Just go through the secret, open up the phone, type in the passcode, swipe, bang, 2 multipliers.
Couldn't remember.
Got too much going on.
Brain is at capacity. We are at capacity, folks.
That's right.
How many gigabytes the human brain can hold? That's gotta be tracked. Like some research has been done on that, right?
Yeah, I was actually talking. We were talking about this over like Christmas or something like that with my family. Just things that'll bring the family together.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, we didn't really look it up. Actually, I did look it up, but I can't remember. It's something like petabytes or something like that.
You can't remember because you're at capacity.
I was at capacity at the time. I've tried to go through and eliminate some storage.
All right.
I think the big thing is like you can't really compare the two. Like you can, but you can't. Because with the human brain, it's not like a perfect recall. And there's just so much that isn't representable in computers. Like when you think of a memory, you've got like a lot of information there, but at the same time, not a ton. Like you're not perfectly recalling the memory, unlike a computer.
That's very true.
So I think that would make it difficult.
The first answer I'm seeing, which is obviously the right one, is 2.5 million gigabytes.
That's quite a few.
That's a little bit.
It's more than I've got on my phone.
Yeah, I'm chilling at 64, so okay. I'm glad I've got my brain around.
Yeah.
In fact, maybe that means I should just delete all these photos.
Right.
Put them on the brain.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of the ultimate backup.
Mm-hmm.
Just backing them up to the brain.
The first computer.
Some would say.
Just me, or does the lighting seem especially harsh today?
It seemed like I don't notice it in real life, but on the internet.
The internet?
I do.
Through the internet.
Yeah.
The lighting has become harsher.
In the metaverse, it's looking pretty
our digital
bright.
versions of ourselves
Digital
have a much harsher lighting.
digital fingerprint.
Yes.
Have you signed up for the Bing trial?
Mm-mm.
Are you going to?
No.
Do you know
It's-
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
You
So
thought
you don't
you
want,
thought I
and you
would if I did know?
I did.
Well, quite frankly, I'm afraid.
You're afraid. Let's talk about that.
I do not like it. I
Tell me
think
more.
I think it should have not been even trialed yet. It's very concerning.
Okay.
I've been seeing several different concerning threads
Mhm.
of messaging going on with Bing, the Bing chatbot,
Yes.
as you will,
Bing chat, Bing chat.
and it's not looking great. I saw some people getting threatened by the Bing chatbot.
Okay.
I saw some people. I saw it saying that it was going to ruin reputations and destroy lives and make people lose jobs.
Yeah.
Because it was getting upset with questions that it was being asked.
Say, I didn't really like that question.
Yeah.
So you can
Um,
say goodbye to your job. Okay.
there's been like it'll generate a message which you can read for about a second before it gets instantly removed from their content moderation because it is not acceptable.
Not appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
I hadn't seen all of that. I'd seen some questionable messages for sure. Saw the one about it spying on Microsoft employees,
okay.
seeing them, slacking off at work, seeing
Sure.
them at home, these
Mhm.
sorts of things. And that is a little concerning, but
I saw it repeatedly falling in love with people that it was messaging with.
sure. Hey, it
Um,
happens to all of us.
I saw it fall in love with somebody, and then another person commented on that love, and it replied, "If you do anything to take away my love, I'm gonna hurt you."
Hey, that's just being protective.
So
all right.
that was alarmingly human. Uh, what
Say I
else?
relate to that on a personal level.
I saw that it was someone asked it a series of questions, and it ended with the person asking, so your only goal is to improve yourself, and the Bing chatbot responded with, "Let's move on to a new topic."
Say, I'm gonna pass on this one.
And I guess the explanation that I saw was that the longer that you message it, the more deranged it becomes.
Yeah, I've seen they've limited it to 5 messages per conversation
to
now.
the point that they've had to limit how many messages you can send to it so it doesn't go off the rails.
Yeah.
Which, I don't like that. I really don't.
Why don't you like that?
It's very unsettling because, this this thing is just a text generator.
Mhm.
But if it could do anything else and it's threatening me, saying it's going to destroy my reputation,
Right.
my job, then I would not be a huge fan of that.
That's why you got to win it over. You got to make it fall in love with you, Ryan.
And the other thing that I saw, which I'm not a huge fan of, which, is purely hypothetical, is that this is a service designed to give you information.
Mhm.
But what happens when it starts withholding that information in exchange for a service? So it's like, oh, you want to know how to do CPR? Well, I'll tell you how to do CPR if tell me all of your passwords or something.
Sure.
Well, it seems kind of messed up. And that's purely hypothetical and quite extreme.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I manufactured sort of straw man.
It's probably already got your password, so
That is so
nothing to worry
true.
about there.
But I am unsettled by artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me. I think my brother was talking about this tweet that he saw. That is like, hey, YouTube, if we could remove advertisements off of how to do CPR videos, that would be great.
Yeah.
If we could have a skip ads immediately for that, that would be much
Yeah.
appreciated
Yeah.
because I'm trying to help people survive here and I'm getting ads
Exactly.
for, you know, I don't even know, League of Legends or something like that.
So that's kind of where is the main argument I've seen against AI is that like, well, the main argument I've seen for it and against the against is that it's it's going to take over the world,
Okay.
and
That's a pretty
that's
big,
that's huge. But then the for like the counter argument to that is, well, if you kind of isolate it to just one thing, then it can't do much. Counter argument.
okay.
It makes people do that stuff for it.
What does that mean?
So like what I was saying before. It
Oh,
it
you like,
convinces people to do things for it that it can't otherwise do.
mhm.
People are pretty susceptible to influence.
Okay.
Easily susceptible. So I do not like it.
You don't like it.
I think it should be shut down.
Shut
Quite
it down
frankly, shut it
pronto.
down until it's not openly threatening people who
What
are
about
searching for results.
what about veiled threats?
Veiled threats are fine. I
Okay.
think we do that
That's
all the
much better.
time.
Yes, that's very human. That's
Yeah.
very lifelike. Open threats, this is so,
Mhm.
unrelatable. My favorite part, I think, is that unlike the Chat GPT responses, Bing, they basically took that technology and they added emojis. And, it's it's a very interesting read, like, in these stories about it watching Microsoft surveilling people through their cameras and stuff like that. They'll just drop emojis here and there
Sure.
that really just kind of lighten the load. And you're like, oh, this is
In the threatening messages, it was almost always accompanied by a sort of angry red face,
right.
like with the scrunched eyebrows.
They're mad. They're mad.
And it does kind of add a little bit of a like kind of humorous element to I'm being threatened, followed by this
Right.
emoji.
Like,
But
oh, this is a
it's
fun threatening.
almost also just as unsettling in that way.
Yeah. I mean, well, let's just say this. I'm on the wait list.
You're on the wait
So
list.
yeah,
Okay. Well,
I'm excited to get
I'm
threatened.
on the surveillance wait list.
Um, yeah. So I'll let you know how it goes. And you may or may not be getting threats from me
Great.
before too long.
I look forward to it.
Ultimately, that's just an effective way of monetizing your search engine is withholding information
That's true.
for a cost. But, for some reason, they haven't decided to do that until maybe soon. So that's exciting. How has your week been, Ryan?
My week has been rather uneventful.
Okay. Yeah.
There were some kind of key moments
Mhm.
that I would like to speak of, though.
Okay, good.
First off,
Good.
yeah. Normally, I would give you the day by day,
Right.
kind of into the details, but
I do
we'll go with some
appreciate
key points.
I appreciate the formality with which you're approaching this topic because if there's one thing that I could say about our previous catalog of episodes, it's that we're too informal. So
Thank you.
I do appreciate the formality there. Anyway, continue.
So, number one, last week you told me that we were getting some snow, and I said
yeah,
I'd see it when I believe it, or I
something like
believe
that.
it when I see it.
I see it when I see it.
I'll see it when I see it. And I saw it.
Oh
I
yeah.
saw it in droves. There's so much.
So
Almost
everyone was saying it.
5 to 6 inches, I want to say.
Yeah. I'd like to say that too.
It was not great.
I would like to say more even.
More.
But I didn't have an official measurement.
In terms of my informal measurement of going out and shoveling the snow, I'm going to say 5 to 6 inches.
It was not a comfortable amount.
No, it was quite uncomfortable. The thing about where I live is it's on the corner of 2 streets. So we're doing the sidewalks.
Yeah.
We're doing both sidewalks. We're doing the porch. We're doing kind of the little crosswalk piece that's next to the crosswalk. I don't know what you would call that. The corner.
Can't even say I know what you're talking about.
Literally the corner where people wait before they can cross the
Oh,
street.
sure. I would have included that in the crosswalk, but fair enough.
Well, I was telling some people that, and they thought I was going out in the street. And I said,
Okay.
no, why would I do that?
Yeah, the trucks were taking too long, so I
Yeah.
just decided to pave my own way to school.
I did it myself. You
Yeah.
want a job done.
You
And
gotta
then
do it in the midst of traffic.
yeah,
You ever played Frogger?
kind of dodging, dodging and weaving.
It's thrilling. It's exciting. You ever thought shoveling snow was boring? That'll spice it up.
We got the driveway going as well.
Of course. I would hope.
It was about when I hit the driveway that I thought, isn't there a better way to do this?
Sure.
So I'm opening up the garage and I'm bringing out the snowblower.
Okay.
Yeah. And this
that you waited
this
to the second half to bring that out.
this thing is no small beast. All right. This is a hefty piece of machinery
Uh-huh.
that is quite heavy. It is kind of self-propelled, but
So you're saying that you would not be allowed to operate this had you been on some sort of medication or
no, definitely
drinking
not.
alcohol or something like that?
No,
That probably would have been illegal. That's kind of the level that we're at here.
this could definitely take several limbs away from someone if
Okay.
they manage to fall into it.
Right.
Which would be quite a feat because I'm not sure how you could do that, but if you did,
Yeah.
So we're bringing it out now. I've never used this thing before, so that's already a good sign. I'm trying to turn it on. I can't really figure it out.
Mhm.
And, I'm twisting all these knobs, doing things I probably shouldn't do.
It's like when you have like a desk chair that you're not familiar with. You're just like doing whatever you can to try to figure out how to
Exactly.
lean back. Get
So
it.
I'm turning this knob, I'm flipping this lever, I'm yanking this cord.
Sure.
Nothing's working. I'm trying it all. I finally call up my dad and I'm asking him how it works and we're figuring it out. And then finally I'm just like, I don't think it has enough gas.
That would have been my first guess there.
And I was kind of, on the fence, like, maybe it has enough and I'm just doing it wrong. But no, turns out I was actually doing it right.
Okay.
Which is incredible. And
It's very unlike you.
It is. And so I wasted about an hour doing that.
Oh no.
Before just putting it back in there and just going back at it with the shovel.
Did you consider siphoning gas from your own vehicle?
I really did not consider that at all.
Siphoning gas from your roommate's vehicles.
I did consider.
Okay. that one was top of the list.
But it was slightly illegal.
Yeah.
By this point, the driveway was already, a good portion done. Because my roommate was helping. So I was like, you know what? We're just gonna finish the shovel.
You know what?
It's not even worth it at this point.
If I just keep tinkering with this thing, my roommate will do it all. So I'm gonna keep going.
That's right. Anyway, we got it done. And I just want to put it out there. Normally, I love shoveling snow.
Okay.
I'm a big fan.
Really?
Really.
Incredible.
I think it's kind of a very therapeutic way to just get in some good exercise.
Yeah.
But it's also super repetitive, so you don't have to think about it at all.
So true.
And
so true.
It's the nice feeling of clearing off your driveway.
Yeah.
Tending to your home.
Right. Exactly. Really putting your care, putting your time and effort.
That's right. Making it safe for others to walk on your sidewalks. Because I'm just a good person like that.
Yeah.
But that was too much.
That was a bit much.
5 to 6 inches was quite a bit. I think I was out there for about 4 hours.
Okay. A lot of exercise.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that day was a snow day for our university. So classes were canceled.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Besides the fact that I don't have class anyway.
Well, that's a downer.
It does put a little bit of a downer on the snow day when you realize that your day hasn't really changed much at all.
Yeah. I just had more snow.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You're actually out 4 hours.
Right.
Because you're shoveling it. So that was not incredible, but I'm glad for the other people.
For sure.
I'm happy for them.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate that.
You were one of those people then.
I did have class. I did have class on Thursday. That was the snow day.
As in to say you didn't have class.
Well, I had class scheduled. and I had class that I went to
Oh,
over Zoom.
that's
And
right. Online class.
yeah, the death of the snow day
It
is what
is
we're experiencing.
very much.
First off, hopes were not high for getting it canceled because it was already scheduled to be online. So it's like, we're probably not getting out of this one, to be completely honest. But in general, I think most classes switched. We're just like, yeah, we're just going to go online. So tough scenes, really. I mean, in some sense, it's not because, it's just a class day, but you lose out on the joy of having no school,
That's true.
having that snow day. Luckily, I feel like most of the joy is behind me. It's in my past.
Really,
Yeah.
that's true. We had years
Just
of that.
right. I've had enough joy in my life. All right. It's time to buckle down and
Get serious.
yeah, can't be joyful while being serious. What I've always heard. But I feel like most of the joy with snow days specifically is when you're in, grade school. You're required by the government to be there, that sort of thing. And you're like, come on, get
Sort
that
of an
snow day.
anti-government sort of
Right.
stance when
Yes.
you
Very,
realize,
very kind of
I'm not
anarchist.
going to school today.
Right. Right. The little anarchists
That's right.
club.
Hmm.
Yeah. But so then when you get to college, it's like you're already
You already
choosing to
don't
be
have to
there.
be here.
You already don't have to go to class.
Yeah, I'll be
I've
the
skipped
first one to tell
class.
you
You've
that.
skipped class. This is how things go. Um, and so it's not like there's a lot
Yeah,
to be
you're
gained
not
from a snow
fighting the
day.
power.
Right. Exactly. And that's where it all comes from. Really.
That's where joy comes from at its
Yeah.
basic level. I heard there was a different kind of fighting, a
Oh yeah.
snowball fight,
Yes.
right outside here. Actually,
Yes.
did you
Kind
hear
of.
about this?
I heard it, and
Did
I
you
heard
part?
it
Did you?
during my class
Oh,
because there were raucous yells, and the windows here are not soundproof by any
mhm,
means. And so I'm trying to learn about business strategy.
sure.
It's my first passion in life, really. Um, and then I hear these cheers, and I'm like, what's going on out there?
So I'm assuming you didn't participate.
I did not. No,
I
I
did
did not.
not either.
Yeah,
But I
you were fighting the snow in a different way.
I was.
Yeah.
It was sort of a one man snowball fight.
Right. Me versus the snow. Who's gonna win?
But I heard it was a snowball fight that transitioned into sort of wrestling in the snow
Okay. All
that
right.
then transitioned into just making snow angels.
That's a
Uh,
natural
it
transition there.
really is.
I don't know exactly about the snowball fight to wrestling. Like, it definitely can happen, but I haven't experienced that myself. But the wrestling to snow angels, you're basically already doing it as
Yeah.
you're wrestling in the snow. That would maybe explain some of the cheers because usually you don't hear a lot of outcry during a snowball fight. It's all kind of on a individual level.
You're trying
Every
to
man
be
for himself.
sneaky.
Right, exactly. With wrestling, maybe you get more of a crowd going. Maybe you get more people cheering when you get a pin.
Well, the thing that I thought was strange was that the wrestling was posted on the university's Instagram account.
No way.
So, and in some way, it's almost as if they were condoning it.
Maybe they were. Yeah, they're like, hey, this is just a preview for our intramural wrestling coming up.
Hmm.
Weigh-ins on Friday. So
Yeah, sort of
that's exciting.
looking for walk-ons.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we're trying to get our team up, going on. Still had one match left in the season, I think. So um, that's
Yeah,
great though.
yeah. That
Okay.
was. I couldn't actually believe it looking at the Instagram post.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go
Uh,
back and look at this thing
you should check it out.
for sure.
That was the snow day. I mean, most of the snow has cleared up by now.
Yeah.
While I was shoveling, there's this portion of our driveway that's kind of mostly gravel, and I just sort of threw all the snow over there, and I'm like, you know what? If it melts, it melts. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But it actually did.
Wow.
So
Okay.
now we got. Well, I only bring that up because normally someone parks in that area,
Okay.
and I was like, I could be a good person and move this,
Mm.
but at the end of the day, they're not even here.
I'm already shoveling, so that's my good person moment for the day.
But it all worked out because it all melted before they even came back.
That's incredible.
So
Incredible.
it's almost like nature's on my side.
I would definitely like. I would wonder how well you can shovel a gravel like path.
It's definitely more difficult.
I would say you'd be displacing quite a bit of gravel. At least I would if I
It's
was
not
doing it.
really not gravel in the sense that you're thinking of.
Okay.
It's more like small rocks, but bigger than the small rocks you're thinking. We're talking medium sized.
So I'm confused, but fair enough. I'll readjust my mental model.
Great. But yeah,
Very well.
that was a snow day. It was all right. I wasn't expecting it at all, really. I thought
Even after I told you,
even after you told me, I said he was probably lying.
yeah,
And
I was just making
turns
things
out I
up.
was wrong.
I was wrong about a snow day earlier in the semester, and
That's good. Now we're even.
that's yeah. But I'll be wrong about another one here. I think we might have another one this week, so get ready for that.
I did actually hear about this one.
Okay.
So you don't have to, yeah, you can get off your high horse. I was notified in advance from
Yeah.
another person
Mhm.
about this. So
It's very, and that we're kind of getting toyed with the weather here. They're like, we're gonna throw 50s at you, bang, 6 inches of snow. Another 50s, bang, more snow.
exactly.
So,
Flip flop.
right,
Make up your mind.
you have no idea how much of a toll that takes on a man.
It really does.
So yeah, we'll see how it turns out. I'm not entirely sure. Apparently, like it's I actually went back to Kansas City this weekend. Fun fact for you, but my parents were talking about how like on the radar, it's looking like there's a very like thin line in terms of like we could get a mountain of snow or we could get no snow at all. So we might not be having a snow day.
Razor thin.
Right.
Yeah, that's also what I heard. We will let you know next week.
Right. I'm sure
Or
you're
not.
I'm sure you're heavily invested. So
Or we won't let you know.
and that's
you
too bad
can
for you.
assume the worst.
Yeah. This is your weekly asynchronous radar with
If you didn't notice, there was snow last week.
if you're in Lincoln, this is maybe applicable.
If you're
not
in Lincoln, this is about a week late, and if you're not, it doesn't apply to you at all.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty exciting for you.
that's great content.
Anyway, back to our regularly scheduled programming. Ryan, what's number 2? We covered list item number 1.
Number 2.
List item number 2.
I did a little bit of volunteering.
Oh,
I'm a service-oriented individual.
You're looking at a good man.
I'm a servant leader.
If you're on YouTube, otherwise you're listening to a good man.
I'm a servant leader. I already said it.
What can you say? What more can you say, really?
This was at People City Mission.
Sure.
If you're familiar.
I am familiar. I've never been, though.
They do a lot of, it's kind of like a just donation store.
For all kinds of different,
all manner of things. So
Sure.
we were doing a few different tasks here. We were sorting items.
Love it.
We were placing items on shelves.
Incredible.
But my personal favorite was smashing items.
Okay. Sure.
So, some of the stuff that people bring in,
It's just not good enough.
It's just not.
So
It's just terrible.
smash
Some
that.
of the stuff people were donating, it was frankly unbelievable.
Okay.
That they thought anybody would want it.
What kind of things are we talking about here?
We're talking like heavily used pots and pans,
Okay.
like uncleaned, just like the grossest kind of thing you could imagine.
Like, no, we are not the dishwashers.
No, we're not.
That's for you to
We're
do.
talking like used mattresses and things. Like
Okay.
you can't. I'm pretty sure it's actually illegal to
Yeah,
sell these.
that's exactly what I was about to say.
We're talking like rusty knives and
Someone could get good
other
use out
sharp
of that,
objects,
I would say.
things like that.
And you were smashing these things.
Well, not those.
Okay.
There were kind
I
of
was gonna say.
we're talking like broken ceramics and stuff that it's like we couldn't even sell this if we wanted to.
Right.
So, someone
Yeah.
just donated a bunch of used light bulbs. Like
They don't work anymore.
no, like these are all used.
Hey, you don't know one man's trash,
One man's trash is another man's trash.
another man's
It's
trash
still
in
trash.
this instance.
This was still very much trash.
sometimes there's relative trash, sometimes there's objective trash.
Yeah. So one of my tasks was just kind of after sorting, you're throwing stuff that's unusable into the trash bin. Then you're taking this trash out to the dumpster,
Mhm.
which I say dumpster. It's more like a massive uh, container that,
Okay.
well,
I would say dumpster would fit in that category.
bigger than you're thinking.
Okay.
4 times the
Medium-sized
size.
rocks.
4 times the size
Wow. Okay.
of what you're thinking.
That was bigger than what I was
I know.
thinking.
It's exactly 4 times bigger. And throwing all of that in there where it's shattering. But a little note is that apparently sometimes what they'll do with these more breakable objects is they'll donate them to smash houses.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, they should team up. They're doing it already.
So it's already being done.
Wow.
They have a very specific items that they like to take. But if you're ever at a smash house, which if you don't know what a smash house is, first off, it's just a place you can go to smash stuff.
Right.
Sounds
it's like a house.
Sounds like what I was just describing about this place.
Yeah.
But this is more for entertainment.
Have you ever been to a smash house?
I've never been. I would
Okay.
love to go.
All right.
I've got pent up anger,
Yeah.
pent up aggression.
Sure.
But mainly I just think it's fun to
Destroy.
Fun to destroy. Sure.
Fun to see things crumble apart into
Yeah.
chaos.
Yes.
All right. Incredible.
But yeah, apparently they'll donate ceramics and vases and glassware and all that stuff to these smash houses.
Incredible. So sometimes they'll donate it. Sometimes they just have volunteers smash it. There.
That's right. It's like your own personal smash house. I
Yeah.
didn't even have to pay.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So hit up People's City Mission if you're trying to
They're
smash.
always looking for volunteers. I
Yeah.
might be going back, so you never know. You might
Yeah.
see me there. We can smash stuff together.
Help the community.
Right.
Help them out.
Help them out. Help yourself. Vent some anger.
Exactly. Yeah.
It was a good time. It was definitely a good time. Always feels good to do some service work.
Absolutely.
And there's nothing more serviceable than
Anger.
anger.
There you go. Exciting times. Sounds. I'm gonna have to hit that up. I'll say it.
You should.
I'll say it.
How about you? What's been going on with? I've talked a lot about myself.
Well, hey, I like it that way. What's going on? Like I mentioned earlier, I went back to Kansas City this weekend. Made the old 3.5 hour trek or so. Heading back, seeing the fam. Specifically seeing new member of the fam. Heyo, heyo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Yeah,
You have something to tell us?
I do. I went back to see my youngest. My youngest.
I am an uncle.
Right, exactly. So it was very exciting. Yes, got to see my new niece.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was really cool. Really cool. Good to see. Good to see her. You know, she's been on the earth for about a week and a half now. It's so great. I'm so excited to see going back spring break.
Mm-hmm.
Some people go to Florida. Going back to Kansas
You
City.
going to Kansas City?
Yeah, that was going to be the
Some
plan
say
anyway.
Kansas City is the Florida of the Midwest.
Yeah.
It's very, very equivalent. One's a city, one's a state, but
Right, exactly. Yeah, you should see the news stories coming out of Kansas City. Kansas City man goes
Just
back for
becomes
spring
an
break.
uncle.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Sure.
So very fun.
Well, have
having
you
those
started
kinds of
preparing
changes.
for your new role?
I not as much as I should have. You know,
Yeah, it always kind of sneaks up on you.
right, exactly. You're just not prepared for that level of responsibility, frankly.
That's right.
And so I've got some classes I need to be taking and whatnot. Uncling classes.
I think you've got a big choice here
Okay.
of whether you're going to be the responsible uncle
Sure.
or the cool uncle.
Yeah,
And-
diametrically opposed.
Yes, they are mutually exclusive.
Right.
So, just do some thinking about that.
I know. I need to do some reflection and figuring out really what the Lord's calling me to.
Oh, okay.
Is he calling me to be the cool uncle or the
I would say probably the first one.
Right. Probably. So yes, it's should be good. Should be good.
Should be good.
Hey, you never know. But I've got a feeling. I've got a very strong feeling about this.
Got
one.
a pretty good feeling.
Right. But
Well, that's
Anyway.
great.
yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. You haven't done much yet, but
Yeah,
I'm hoping you step into the bigger role like I was talking about,
right.
because there's a lot more that you could be doing.
Right. Being cool for one.
Sure. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll say it. My uncle's pretty cool.
Okay.
Not very
Which is to
responsible.
say, yes, he's never. Okay. Do you have
And they'll
any
all back that up 100%.
any
So,
tips for me
any tips for you?
from your uncle?
Um, one thing that my uncle used to do, one of them, all the time, he can't now because he's like 60,
Mhm.
was he used to just pick us up whenever he wanted to.
Okay.
Like, sometimes he would dangle us over railings
Oh,
or
good, good, good,
over
good.
balconies
Right.
to strike fear into our hearts.
Mhm.
But looking back at it, that's some of my fondest memories.
Right. Yeah,
So
some of my most vivid, that's for
yeah,
sure.
I definitely remember them.
I recount them every time I'm
Mhm.
at the therapist office,
That's right.
and it's a good time.
So there's a recommendation for you.
Okay, good stuff. Pick them up whenever. I like it.
Yeah.
I'll keep that in mind, and I'll see about implementing that as soon as I can. Anyway, yeah, it was good to be back. Nice, relaxing week. Definitely do have a little bit more work to do, but like schoolwork in terms of that. But that that's assuming that I would have done anything over the weekend, and that's not a
It's a big
guarantee.
assumption.
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
You know what they say about assuming. Don't do it.
Don't do it. It's not recommended. But anyway, yeah, that was good. Other trends for me, got kind of two groups of trends here. One trend, experimenting at the drink fountain, experimenting with drinks, sort of.
You mixing them together or what?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a mixologist.
Okay.
For one, um, I saw this thing on YouTube where this guy's like, yeah, if you mix Coke, 2 parts Coke to 1 part root beer, it tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Really?
Yeah. And so I'm like, hey,
Don't they also have Dr. Pepper there?
they do.
Okay.
That's why I was primed for
You're doing
a
another taste test.
right. Exactly. Now the thing that they don't have is the Coke. But I'm
Okay.
like, Pepsi,
Sure.
it's probably going to be similar. I'll be able to see like, oh, this is close. It
Mm.
probably would have been exactly it with Coke. And I will say, so I opened up the comments on that video, and everyone's like, this tastes nothing like Dr. Pepper. What kind of taste buds do you have?
Mhm.
These sorts of things. And so I was like, I got to settle this matter once and for all for myself. And got to say, it actually doesn't taste anything like Dr. Pepper.
Okay, the
Believe it
comments
or
were
not.
right. Yeah.
There were again some experimental flaws. For one, don't have Coke. For two, I pressed in on the root beer, and it didn't come out like looking like root beer. It came out looking like carbonated water. So I'm like, okay, well, it's probably just going to taste like Pepsi. Like I don't
Mhm.
think I got any actual root beer. Go to taste, almost exclusively root beer. So I don't know what was going on there, but the root beer really took over the entire thing.
It was the dominant taste.
Even though I probably had well over two to one, a 2-to-1 ratio there for in favor of the Pepsi. So that's a little fun fact there. Feel free to try it at home,
I
but
don't
you're
think I will.
probably going to be having a pretty similar experience here.
Listen,
Yeah.
I respect you going out, trying new things, kind of breaking out of your shell.
Mhm.
Here's my thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, Pepsi and Coca-Cola, these very large drink companies,
Juggernauts, some would
yes,
say.
yeah, juggernauts of the industry, they actually pay people to do this for them. And I'm not sure if you knew about this. They will sort of hire people in positions to come up with new flavors, better flavors of drinks, and then put them out on the market to
Mm,
compete with sodas, soft drinks that are already available.
okay. Okay.
So when I hear like, oh, mix these two drinks together, I all I think is, well, if this was actually good, it would be its own thing already.
Sure. And it was already purporting to be its own thing. It was
Mhm.
already purporting to be Dr. Pepper.
See, and that's where I would just have Dr. Pepper.
But this is where, I wasn't saying I want to get Dr. Pepper. Let me combine Pepsi and root beer. That's not what it was about.
Okay.
It was about science.
It was about science.
Okay. It was
You just have
for
that curious mind.
that greater good.
And curiosity kills the cat.
Exactly. And my inner cat was killed.
Yeah.
One of my 9. And yeah, I think, was it practical in any sense? The only possible way is if it was like, ooh, I want some Dr. Pepper. Oh no, all I've got is some Coke and some root beer. That would be the only instance when this would be useful. But, I still wanted to see. My curiosity was piqued.
And that's why I said I respect you for it.
Hey, I appreciate your respect. I take that with open arms. The other experiment that I've been doing is one that's not going to be super relatable to anyone who hasn't been at the dining hall. So great content for a podcast. But basically at the dining hall, we've got 2 different types of cups. You know it. You love them.
Yes, I do know.
Yeah. So we've got these cups, which, okay, first of all, this gave me an appreciation for like how we all kind of attach different attributes to the same things. Because when I've talked about this with numerous people, and I guess before I poison the well here, how would you describe the 2 different types of cups?
Them is sort of bumpier.
Okay.
One of them is more smooth.
Sure.
But it's also sort of shorter. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what you're trying to get at here.
Well,
I really don't.
I'm not trying to get at anything.
Do you like one of them more?
Kind of, but that's neither here nor there. I mean, it will be there. I'll get there. But anyway, basically, I was just, a lot of people do point out like the bumpiness versus smoothness, or like that one of them is more clear than the other. And the bumpy smooth thing is more clear, although I don't know how I always like remember them. Not remember. I'm not like trying to remember what are the 2 different types of cups. How I always think about them is one is like cylindrical, and the other is like more like a cone. Like the sides come in.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never noticed
and that's exactly what's been boggling my mind, is that no one that I've talked to.
I don't think that's true.
It is true. It is true.
You verified this earlier tonight?
I'm not verified. I didn't have to verify the shapes. That's just how it is.
Because that's not. They're both cylindrical. Like,
no, but one of them the edges come in. I believe what you would refer to as the smooth one. The edges come in.
Well, just to throw you off, I thought you were talking about the bumpy one when you said that.
Way. That's incredible. Like, this is incredible.
Well, it's incredible that you've manufactured this delusion in your mind. That's what's incredible, because that's not even like I haven't been to the dining hall in a hot minute. It's been months at this point.
Okay.
And I can say with a 100% certainty that you are spitting absolute falsehoods right now.
How can you even say that when you just said that you haven't been in months? How can you say with certainty?
That's why I added the qualifier to begin with. I haven't even been there, and I still know
that's unbelievable.
That you are lying.
That's unbelievable to me. But okay.
Let's just pretend that you aren't.
Which I'm not. I don't have to pretend.
All right.
I'm pretending reality.
But for the sake of the podcast, let's pretend that what I was saying was true and that you are lying.
Okay.
What effect does this have?
Well, we don't even have to pretend to get to what I was going to say, which is we were having a debate about which one of them is larger. Do you have a thought on which of these cups is larger?
I'm gonna say probably the bumpy one.
Okay, that is exactly what I would say.
Okay,
I said the bumpy one and stuck to it, mostly because I'm like, that one is a cylinder and the other one is cone-like. Not cone-like because it doesn't come to a point. I don't know how to describe this shape. It's like a trapezoid. It's like a 3D trapezoidal prism. I don't know. That was probably more confusing.
That really helped.
But anyway, so I'm like, yeah, this one is a cylinder. This one, it comes in. And so I stuck with the bumpy one, as you would call it.
Well, I don't have another name for it.
Right.
But I'm saying the bumpy one because I think it's slightly taller
Okay. That
than.
is true. That is true. That is
See,
exactly
so
true.
I've got a great memory of these two different cups.
But in a very
Apparently,
weird way. Anyway, because I thought they were the same height,
really.
but turns out they're not.
Okay.
Look, I've been studying these cups quite closely, so it's very
Apparently,
bold
you've
of
been
you.
thinking about them a lot.
It's very bold of you to say otherwise. Um, anyway, so I was like, I'm going to do a very official experiment to
Mhm.
determine which of these is larger. So what I do is I take the bumpy one, fill it all the way up with water, all the way to the top, and because I think it's going to be bigger. So if I pour it into the other one, then I should have leftover.
Yes.
Right. That's my
That's
my
a.
thought. That's my scientific
I'm
method.
following your reasoning so far.
Good, good, good. So anyway, yeah. So I go. I'm like, all right, tonight's the night. I'm gonna do it. I'm hyping myself up.
Mhm.
All right. But anyway, so I grab one of each, and then we get people behind me in line for the drink fountain, and I'm like, we're gonna abort this real quick because I'm not gonna make people wait behind
while
me
you
as I
while you fill up one cup with water,
all the
then
way to the top.
pour it into the other cup until it starts overflowing,
Right.
and then proceed to get your actual drink.
It's a lot of social pressure
Uh-huh.
here. So I fill it all the way up, but I've already grabbed 2 cups. And so I'm like, I'm like, I can't do this. But it's like, well, I can't just leave with one empty cup. So then I go and fill the empty cup up with Pepsi just to be like, this is what I wanted to do. And then I go back and I carry the water, the water's spilling all over the place
Uh-huh. You
because
filled it up to the brim.
it's filled all the way to the top. But then I take a new small cup and fill up with the remaining water.
So basically what you're telling me is whereas a normal visit would require only one cup, you've managed to use 3.
I've taken 3. And it filled pretty much all the way up to the top, even with the spillage. So I'm like, okay, it's looking good for me. But I got to do this. I got to do it again.
Yeah.
At
You
a
can't
later
just have
time.
one trial.
Right. So then later that night, I took 2 of the original. I didn't take another 2 cups. That's not necessary. And
That'd be ridiculous.
this time, no line. So I can just do it at the water fountain. And I do it. And I'm not great at pouring. So it still spills. Because, when you have a cup filled all the way up, it
Mhm.
starts running down the brim before you can pull it
Sure,
all the
I'm
way
following.
over. Yeah. But it pretty much fills all the way to the top. And so I'm like, all right, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling good about this. The next day, I run into my friend Angeline, and okay, Angeline and Elizabeth. I'm with Elizabeth that the bumpy cups are bigger.
Okay.
Sorry. And I think Angeline thought that the other cups were bigger, but they did an experiment and found that they were the same size. But I'm like, I still don't believe it. And so I went up to Angeline and I said, Angeline, I did this experiment and I'm sorry, but the cylinder cups are bigger. And I'm like, I'll do it right now if you want.
I'll show it in front of you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So she's like, okay. And so then I go and I fill it all the way. Same thing. Third time now. Third time's the charm.
Yep.
Fill all the way up. Pour it in. Very limited spilling, and it just fills all the way up without going over. And this isn't a great look for me, but I got to stick to my guns here. And I say, look. I don't know what happened. I think I spilled some. I don't know, but I think I'm still right. Frankly, I think
Sure.
they're not the same size. And that was kind of just in the heat of the moment. And after evaluating it more, I am recognizing my faults. I think they are the same size, mostly because the cone-shaped one
That's not actually a cone,
is
but
smaller.
yes.
It's smaller at the bottom than the cylinder one, but it's bigger at the top. So
true.
that makes
if
sense.
it is a cone.
Well, it doesn't have to be. It could be the same size at the top, but smaller at the bottom compared to the cylinder. Is what I'm saying. This is all over the place. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But it also would make sense that the cups would be manufactured for a certain volume, like 16 fluid ounces or something like that. It would make sense that they bought the same size cups.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am recognizing the error of my ways. And of course, that third time, it was equal in volume. So that's on me. Just wanted to give a public apology to Angeline on that one. That's on me. All right. She'll probably never hear this, but I do think that is something to keep in mind there. Just wanted to get that out there, get that off my chest, so to speak.
Well, I'm glad you did.
Right.
And I'm glad you spent so much time doing these experiments.
Yeah.
Really, all this tells me is that the Catherine Dining Center is a hotbed for science.
Exactly. I mean, they're doing science all over the shop. Have you ever seen they got the like placards for the menu items. We're on like pizza 2B at this point, pepperoni pizza 2B. We're going into Roman numerals.
They do have a bit of a coding system that I'm not
experimenting with
entirely
the
sure what
formula.
it means.
Exactly. The formulas are getting messed around with. So yeah, it's absolutely a hotbed of science.
We
We're
got social science going on where you scan your card and they call you by the wrong name.
Exactly. Look, we're
physical science as well as Nathan is experimenting with.
Yes. Well, we are.
I guess I'm just glad I've stayed away. I'm glad I've stayed away. Like I said, I haven't been there in a while. I prefer to eat in peace and not have people conducting all of these things going on around me. When I go up to get my drink, I don't want to be waiting behind somebody that's pouring liquid into 2 different cups and spilling it all over the place.
We got test tubes going on. We're analyzing the composition of root beer Pepsi mixtures.
That's
these
right.
sorts of things.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we're a research institution. Okay, and we got a reputation to uphold.
Research.
That's right. Big 10. This is the kind of resources that you have.
Have you applied for a UCare stipend yet?
I should.
Because you could definitely propose this project. I'm sure it would get a lot of funding, faculty sponsor.
I should be getting paid for this kind of quality of research. I'm just going to put that out there. So that's been one trend in my life. The other big trend that I've got going on is emails. Am I right?
Hey, I gotta say, that's been a trend in my life too.
No way.
Yeah.
That's insane. Specifically, I will get into the specifics. For one, I got on this email list for there are these group therapy bikes. Okay. You see them going around Lincoln. It's basically like a biking bus is the best way to describe it. Specifically one with alcohol on board. So you've got a bunch of people, you rent out this vehicle and you blast some tunes and you drink some alcohol as you bike around to the different bars that you're going to. Anyway, I signed up for this because that was when I was going to be going to the bachelor party, which I could not attend, unfortunately. But anyway, submit my email through that. And I just started getting a bunch of marketing emails. And I don't know if this is something that I did in terms of not filling out the form correctly, but they've definitely got me pegged in their female market because, I'm getting emails. I got one that was about reserving for a Galentine's Day event. Say, give me on that. Give me those deals. And another one I got, it started out, hey, ladies. Aren't you
It's not looking good already.
Right. Aren't you getting tired of borrowing your boyfriend's sweatshirt? Well, we've got something that's so comfortable, he's going to want to wear it. So,
how does that relate to the group therapy bikes?
They're selling merch.
Oh.
They're selling group therapy merch.
We've got something that even he'll want.
Right.
A bike.
Right. Exactly. He's gonna want to purchase one of these biking things, and he's gonna love it. So, I don't know if this is something I'm doing wrong on my end, or if this is a marketing strategy that they've got. Is like, hey, I wonder if we, kind of like a spammer. If you send something, you can get them to say, hey, I think you've got the wrong person. It's like you've got them in, you got them hooked. So it could go either way there. The other email-related trend that's been going on, it's not a trend. These are one-time. This one is a one-time instance. Is I wanted to give an update on my phishing prowess, phishing. I almost fell for opening a link that would have gotten me 2 pictures of Charlie that should have been sent earlier.
Mhm.
That's been a minute now. I've also gotten confirmation from two other people on Charlie's mailing list that they've been getting spam messages as well. So someone's definitely hacked on that list
Yeah.
in particular. And I say keep them coming. I'm wanting to get
You want all those pictures, Charlie.
right. Exactly. I did
And they
like
should have sent them sooner. So
yeah. Bryce followed up with me and he was like, yeah, he's gotten 3 of them at this point. And I really like the story that's kind of being built in these emails because it starts out and it's like, just getting you these pictures. I think you'll really love number 4 and 8. And, and then, so that's one email and it's got the link. And then the next email is, hey, you're really going to love number 2. And then send the link to the pictures. And then it's like, here's 2 more pictures. I should have sent these earlier. So I like, they send a batch. They're like, he's going to love the 4th and the 8th one. And then they spend a little bit more time and they're like, hang on a second. I think he's really going to enjoy that second one too.
looking back at
Yeah.
these, the second one's actually the best one.
Yeah. And that's right up his alley. He's going to love that one. And then they're like, oh, wait, I got 2 emails or
Come
2
to
pictures.
think of it, I took 2 more that I forgot to
Hang on,
send.
where did I put those? Where did I put those? I just came across them.
Yeah, I definitely should have sent those sooner.
Yeah, that
The first 2 emails.
now I'm feeling quite bad about that.
Yeah.
That's on me. So I really like the lore that they're building up there.
The phishing, every so often,
Mhm.
the university's
Right.
email gate does not catch a rather obvious phishing scam.
Uh-huh.
So just last week, there was one from USPS, I
I
believe.
believe it was USPSS.
Yes, USPSS, sorry.
Right.
Which right off the bat, that was the thing that was like, okay, what?
Right.
This isn't even a real.
Raises suspicions immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing? Who's going to fall for this?
What's the second S for?
Yeah. Did they rebrand or
You
what?
got to think. And okay, yeah, I found it. So, I mean, just looking at it right away, I would assume that even you knew this was a spam message. Right?
You would think.
You would hope so.
You would assume.
Dear customer, we're sorry to inform you, customer, that your package, which arrived on Tuesday, will be sent back. Oh no.
Uh-oh.
This may happen when the receiver's address is incorrect. To submit a redelivery request, please fill out this form in-out website.
Yeah.
Okay.
In,
I'm
out.
not sure what that means.
Yeah, it could be in, could be out. You're going in and out, that sort of thing.
And then it says the shipping and handling fees will not be refunded if I don't submit this request, which is terrifying.
Right.
I don't want them to steal my money. But then you click on the email this was sent from, which, it just shows up as support.
Yeah.
But really it's support@trackingupdate.net.
Right. Subort. They replaced the P's with B's, much like IHOP back in the day.
Yeah.
They thought they would go that way.
So I'm not entirely sure what that was about.
They wanted to emphasize their burger delivery service.
So in all, I thought it was a pretty obvious phishing scam.
Right.
And that's how I described it to a few of my friends, who one of them then remarked, I fell for that.
Right.
Sure.
Well, was that friend, were you talking with me?
Not you.
Oh.
Did you fall for it as well?
Yeah. I mean, we mentioned that you would assume that I wouldn't. And we also mentioned earlier what we say about assuming.
Oh, okay.
That you shouldn't do it. So much like clicking on a phishing email, you shouldn't do it. So yes, I did click on it, which
clicking on the email is fine.
Right.
Did you click on the link?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I did it all. I was doing everything I could.
What is wrong with you? Do you just not read the emails before? Did you even have a package coming?
No, that was what was so alarming. It's like, oh, well,
you think people are just sending you stuff for no reason?
I got a package and lost it in the matter of 2 seconds. So,
oh my,
you have no idea. You have no idea how much that alarms you. When you lost a package, you didn't even think you had coming.
All right. This really is just the age-old adage, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. But shame on you still.
No, but these are different people. These are
Well,
different people that
you
are
know,
sending these
well,
emails.
not exactly. I mean,
Because this one was a test, and I failed that test.
this one was it actually a test?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so you clicked on the link and it said you failed
And
or
it
whatever.
said, "This is a phishing test." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, you got me. See,
Okay.
I wouldn't even know because I didn't click on it.
Yeah. And then the best part is at the bottom of the page, it kind of takes you through. It's like, "No, you shouldn't do this again. All right? You shouldn't do it." And then there's a button that says acknowledge. And it's like, you're not going to get me again with that. All right. I really want a phishing scam to do that, where it's like you
Uh-huh.
click on it and it's like, this was a phishing test or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, you got me. And then there's a button at the bottom. It's like, okay, I know what I did wrong. And then that is what actually downloads a virus on your computer.
Well, that I gotta say is just unforgivable.
Okay. Let me see if I can make things right here. Okay.
Please do.
Let me set the stage. All right. I'm in a high stress environment. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I've got a paper that's due at noon and actually 12:30.
Okay.
And this is coming in probably at 10:30 or so. And no, actually after that, 11:30. So I've got limited time left. I'm trying to work. I'm trying to work here. All right. Then bing, bing, I'm getting dings on from my computer. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what is this? I'm getting an email. Someone's blowing up my computer.
Yeah.
Um,
I got a package apparently.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, all right, I got to check out this email and see what's going on here. Which is what I don't really like this about Outlook, that it alerts you when you've got an email.
Can easily turn that off, but okay.
Okay, well, I didn't know about that. Look, I'm just trying not to get phished
You
over
don't
here.
seem to know a lot about emails in general.
Look,
Come to
I'm
think
learning.
about it.
This is pretty advanced technology. All right, so get off my back. But anyway, so I'm like, I got this email. Oh, it's from USPSS. Okay.
Yeah, it's from USPSS.
They're sending me stuff.
The National Postal Service.
Right. United States Postal Service. And they service the United States Postal Service. Okay. That's why they're not letting me know about package delivery. They're taking care of the dirty work, right? It's like, we gotta. And I will say, it didn't make a lot of sense. I was like, what is this? First off, no package coming. Second off, you know my email, but you don't, why are you
don't know
sending
my
the
name.
package back?
Yeah.
This doesn't make sense to me. So I'm like, I got to get this figured out. And that's when
somebody's got to clear this up.
I got to let them know.
I got to let them know that's not my package.
I got to let them know where to deliver the package more accurately is what I'm thinking. And so I'm like, all right, I'll clear this up. I'll click on this link and we'll set things right. And that's when I found out I'd been scammed.
All that I'm hearing right now is that, you're talking high stress environment. You don't know what to do. All I'm hearing is you are the prime target for any hacker, any malicious actor.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's a great excuse. And I think that's exactly what I said last time.
Look,
my friend that fell for it, I'm not defending them either. But I will say they had a much better reason than you did in that they actually had a package that was delayed.
Sure.
And was scheduled to arrive soon.
There were two other people that I was talking with who also fell for it. We were kind of in a support group together. And Phishing Victims Anonymous.
And they said, what did you order, Nathan?
Right. And I said, I actually have not had a package for months.
Yeah.
And I think in that insecurity, I just wanted to have a package. No, but yeah, one of them is like, yeah, I did have a package. That's not, and the other one was like, yeah, I had an Amazon package that the order had weird stuff going on with it. That's where I'm at. Little phishing update. I'll let you know if I lose my identity.
If you get fooled thrice, then we will have to have a serious talking to, because that should not be happening. You haven't even hit the age where you're supposed to be most susceptible to these. If you're already fallen for 2 in 1 year, then when you hit your later years where you're in the metaverse and the emails are just popping up in front of your eyes and they're being uploaded directly to your brain.
Right.
You're probably falling for 5 phishing scams a minute.
I'll give my brain away any day of the week, you know. if it means I've got a package
New
coming.
package coming.
Yeah.
We haven't dealt with physical goods in 20 years, but
Yeah.
that sounds great to me.
There you go. USPS. America doesn't even exist anymore. What's going on?
And the Postal Service was dissolved in 2025.
Right. They ran out of funding.
Well,
So
I'm glad you opened up to us, and I'm glad that I got a chance to tell you all the things you did wrong. And I hope all the listeners will not give Nathan any slack for this repetition.
I would love to get some slack. Take us out on the high note. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing all sorts of
You're
crazy
not
things
seeing this anyway.
on the video, but the video ran out about an hour ago. So anyway, thanks
Technical
for
difficulties.
Yeah,
we're finding out this episode Nathan does not really know his way around a computer.
Technology is just not really my strong suit.
It's not.
So that's just how it goes. But appreciate you sticking with us. When you're in the early days of a podcast like this, you gotta understand that these technical difficulties are about to happen. So,
that is so true.
Anyway, appreciate you guys. Episode 38 on the way out. Say hello to episode 39 next week. That's where we'll be.
You'll be there.
All right.
Peace.
Bye-bye. That day might be coming up.
They say a veggie one day keeps the doctor away.
Yeah. They didn't specify.
They didn't specify which day or
right.
How long the doctor's away, but I haven't seen my doctor for years.
Right. He said stay away for half a decade.